time. Also making the list, Anne Hatchard, Ebony Marinoff, Chelsea Bedell, Danielle Ponter and Caitlin Gould. The Powers' Abby Dowrick and Gemma Houghton have also been recognised. The final team of 21 will be announced later this month. To cricket, wild weather could cost Australia a place in Sunday's World Cup final. A cyclone forming in the Bay of Bengal is threatening to wash out Thursday's match in Kolkata, as well as the reserve day on Friday. If that happens, second-placed South Africa will go through, ahead of third-placed Australia. Daniil Medvedev has made easy work of fellow Russian Andrei Rublev at the ATP tennis finals in Italy. Craig Gabriel is in Turin.
It's not easy playing your best friend, and especially when that best friend is also godfather to your daughter. That's the situation Daniil Medvedev and Andrei Rublev go through when they play one another. For the seventh time from 9 matches, Medvedev has taken the money. This time it was 6-4, 6-2. Speaking of money, each round-robin win is $390,000. Earlier, Alexander Zverev beat Carlos Alcaraz 6-7, 6-3, 6-4 for the fourth time in 7 matches.
That's sport. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at FIVEAA. Urgent civil works on Glen Osmond Road near Conningham Street. At Taparoo, collision on Strathfield Terrace near Military Road. And these Parklands, Wakefield Street is closed near East Terrace in preparation for the Adelaide 500. That's on next week. That's coming quick, hasn't it? And look out for cameras today. Smart Road, Modbury and Gorge Road at Athelston. The Vodafone Black Friday sale is on now. Don't miss out on a huge 40 gigs of data for just $40 a month on the SIM-only plan. Make your move and save with Vodafone today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
All you can eat salad and veg is back at the Paradise Hotel, Lower North East Road. Open 7 days.
A mostly sunny afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, 23. Thursday, much the same, 22. Cloud clearing on Friday, 24. Right now it's 19 degrees. Now let's see what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, see a chase end with a carjacking attempt in Adelaide's north, even with police on the driver's tail. An $8 million cocaine bust here in SA. Shocking medical findings into coronary stents. Why Australian doctors now want them under review. And new tips to boost retirement savings, multiplying superannuation. See the full story live on 9 News at 6 p.m. and on 9 Now.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Well, Rowie, Peter Malinowski's not only got Gather Round back here, but we got Live Golf again. Your team. Is there a thought in the future that a venue like Glenelg or Unley, a similar thing could be done?
Absolutely. That is a possibility.
Rowie and Timmy G.
We interviewed Eddie McBride. He wants Gather Round permanently in Adelaide.
I'm in furious agreement with Eddie.
Stop it! Of course you are.
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Footprints, hundreds of them, thin ones, big ones, muddy ones, in every room of your house. You might expect that from tradies when you're renovating, but not when you choose Bathrooms by Design. All our tradies, including tilers, plumbers, electricians and carpenters, are overseen by one project manager. They're flawless, meticulous and as coordinated as a ballet, but without the tutus. Reward yourself every day with a luxury bathroom. View our designs at bathroomsbydesign.com.au.
It's been gone for decades. It's a thing of the past. But even today, it haunts some of us. If you suffered from polio as a child or it affected your parents, Polio SA Support Group would like to hear from you. Symptoms like weakness, joint pain and fatigue may still persist and can be managed. Polio SA is committed to making life for polio survivors as comfortable as possible. Find out more at poliosa.org.au.
Each week, IGA checks and matches the regular prices of the big two on hundreds of essentials. Here's proof.
Like the Country Chef Bakery Co Pavlova, 500 grams, $6 each. Price matched.
We checked, we matched, you won't pay more.
Offer ends November 14. Participating IGA stores only.
The 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows wherever you go.
5AA Afternoons with Angie McBride.
It is 8 minutes past 3, 8223 0000. You can speak about whatever you would like. We have Denise and Geeta from ECH. They're in the interactive lounge. The ladies are very busy, but just keep your calls coming, 8223 0055, and they will get to you as soon as they can. So I've got a few people on hold, but they'll get to you shortly. That was a couple of weeks ago now. I think we spoke to the CFMEU and about the engineered stone. Obviously, is it silicosis that it causes? Well, they've had a bit of a result today because I think in the long term is to get that banned altogether. They've had a little bit of a win. Bunnings will stop selling engineered stone from the end of the year after getting the pressure from construction workers and CFMEU and all sort of types of people that are involved. So it ranges from, Bunnings sell the kitchen bench tops, which have the silica dust in it. They're going to be taking that off of their line at the end of the year. They'll stop selling them on the 31st of December, and Safe Work Australia has recommended to federal, state and territory ministers that governments should implement a full ban on the manufacture, import and use of engineered stone. So there we go. There's a start. Just seeing if they've... they're talking to government and businesses about that. So that is good news. If you have a question, 8223 0000 or a comment on the following.
Maybe you can drive my car, and maybe I love you. Beep, 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 yeah.
And back, maybe from a driving holiday. I'm unsure. Trent Nikolic, Managing Director, drive.com.au. Hello, how are you?
Good afternoon. I'm really well. And it was a driving holiday, about 5,000 kilometres I think we did in 3 weeks across the US. So I'm one of those masochists who drives cars for a living and then stupidly goes on holiday and keeps driving.
Now, did you hire a fancy car?
No, I just hired a regular car. So while I was in the US, I just hired what is the equivalent of a Toyota Hilux Nissan Navara size dual cab. So something that wasn't too big, but not too small as well. When I go over there for work, I'm often driving around in big pickup trucks and big SUVs and stuff. But what I've discovered is when you're on holiday, you can't always control where you park, how secure the parking is, how big the car spaces are, things like that. So it's always better, even though the temptation is to look at the list of cars that you can hire and go, oh, gee, I think I wouldn't mind a Ford F-150 or a Ram 1500 because that's what everybody drives.
Huge.
It's probably smarter to get something a bit smaller, yeah.
Because, so what areas did you go to? Because my friends came back from LA recently, and you really got to keep up with the speed limit there on the freeways.
Well, between you and me, and luckily nobody else is listening, you've actually got to exceed the speed limit in LA, otherwise you'll get run down.
But is that legal though?
Yeah, so I spoke to a police officer over there. I won't bore your listeners with how I met the police officer, but I spoke to a police officer. You didn't meet him in
the jail? He wasn't arresting you at the time?
Thankfully no. No.
That's good.
But I said to him, look, I noticed, so say for argument's sake, their speed limits are different to ours, but they can be as high as 70 miles an hour, which is about 128 kilometres an hour, give or take, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Now, in a 70 mile an hour zone, if you're doing 70, you're getting overtaken by cars that are doing 80 to 90. And I said to the police officer, I said, look, I see, especially in California, you see crazy driving everywhere. And I said, what has someone got to do for you to take notice of it to think about pulling them over? And he said, oh, look, we start at 10 to 15 miles an hour over the speed limit. So unless you're doing 10 to 15 over, they probably don't even look at you.
Wow. How did you go with the driving?
Yeah, look, I don't really have a problem with it because I do it so often. And I've said to a couple of people, if you've driven in Mumbai in India, which I've done, and if you've driven in Naples in Italy, which I've also done, I reckon you can probably drive anywhere in the world, to be honest, because those two places are just completely insane. I find driving in the United States, once you just get your head around the fact that you're on the other side of the car, obviously, I find it quite easy. Once you get out of Los Angeles, it's actually really enjoyable. So we did a big road trip out of LA into the southern part of Nevada. Then we basically went from the south right up to the north of Utah. Then we went into Idaho. and then we came back into the north of Nevada and into the north of California again. So we did a real big loop in and out of Los Angeles. And to be honest with you, once you get out of the city confines of LA, it's actually quite enjoyable to drive over there.
Yeah, and Utah's quite pretty, isn't it?
Oh, it's stunning. I cannot, if anyone's listening to us today thinking about going on a road trip, make sure that you visit Utah. Zion National Park, Salt Lake City specifically, absolutely stunning. Zion National Park is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It's like you're driving in the Dolomites in Italy or the Swiss Alps. It's incredible how beautiful it is. And I would absolutely recommend that people take the time to go and visit for sure.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Trent Nikolic is here. If you've got any comments, questions, 8223 0000. You could also pop them up on our 5AA Facebook and YouTube live stream, thanks to Foodland Supermarkets, and we can have a look at them. Now, we've got a heap of things to talk about, Trent. I think we should start with this just because most people we all have to put petrol in our car. So what is the best thing to do? So if you want to save money, which one do you put in? What's better for your car?
Yeah, right. So if you've got a diesel, you put diesel in it, and for the love of all things holy, don't put petrol in it, and vice versa, right? So that's the first one. And anybody who's listening who's done it knows what a horror story that is, because plenty of people have done it by accident, right?
Yes.
So that's the first thing. What is really interesting for me is, are you going to notice a massive difference between, if you've got a regular car that will take 91 unleaded, will you notice a massive difference between 91, 95 and 98? The answer to that is no, not really. And generally speaking, if you're on a budget and you can only afford 91 and your car is designed to run on 91, that's fine. What we recommend people don't do, and I only say this because I've got multiple friends who are mechanics who've told me this, is not to run E10 fuel in anything. So use regular 91, but don't use E10, even in cars that are designed for it. One of the reasons is because E10 burns a lot faster than regular 91, and it's not cheap enough to justify the faster burn. So you go less distance on a tank of fuel, but you're not saving enough money to justify it. So the reality is, if you can only afford 91, don't use the E10, get the regular 91. Now, when you step up to premium, whether it's 95 or 98, if your car asks for 95, put 95 in it. Don't put 91 in it. So if you buy a high-performance European car, and a lot of performance cars do this, they ask for 95 or premium as a minimum. Run premium in it. The car's not going to stop on the side of the road if you happen to put 91 in it, or you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can only get 91. But don't do it repeatedly, because the car is designed to run on 95. Can you mix between 91, 95, 98 in a car that takes as low as 91? Yes, you can.
Okay.
But as I said, I wouldn't recommend, I'm a bit stupid and a little bit OCD, so I'll run 98 in everything, whether it's a motorbike or mixing two-stroke for a whippersnipper or whatever. I just do that. But you're not going to have, if you've got a Toyota Corolla, for argument's sake, that runs on 91, if you put a tank of 98 in it, it's not all of a sudden going to feel like it's twice as fast. So I just don't think for most people it's worth spending the extra money.
Because I've been told that if you do the 95 or 98, it's more fuel efficient, but it's not necessarily fuel efficient. Is that what you're saying?
It can be, yeah. It can be for certain cars, and the problem with this is it's how long is a piece of string, right? So it will be for certain cars. One thing we do know is that 95 and 98, they've got a higher octane rating, so they burn more efficiently and therefore actually create better bang for your buck. So in theory, they will be a little bit more efficient. The other thing with 98 specifically is it tends to have a lot more cleaning agent in it, which is really good for your fuel system. Okay. So if you consistently run, and this is the great part, if you've got a car that runs on 91, you could run a tank of 98 through it once a month, for argument's sake, and it'll give the system a decent clean without having to use 98 all the time. So I think there is an argument to be had for the efficiency and the fact that it makes more power per litre and things like that. But I think the reality, too, is that the majority of us are driving around in traffic at 50 k's an hour trying to get to and from work or to pick the kids up from school. So I think you're not going to notice a massive difference between 91 and 98 if your car can take 91.
Well, see, I think it's 2019 Mitsubishi Mirage. I mix and I do it mainly for price.
Mm-hmm.
So is that okay?
But don't we all? Look,
Yeah.
don't we all? I mean, this is the thing too. I don't want to sound flippant because it's easy for me to sit here and say, oh, everybody should put 98 in, right? But the reality is everything is more expensive. Inflation is killing everyone in one way or another at the moment. Now, mortgage payments are up and all that stuff. So don't feel bad if you can't always afford the premium. If your car only needs 91 and that's all you can justify, put 91 in it. No problem at all. But if you've got the budget to put a tanker 95 or 98 in it, as you've done, mix it up here or there, not an issue.
And stay away from E10.
I wouldn't use E10 in anything, no. And look, there'll be someone out there listening now who'll be tempted to write in a note saying, yeah, but the V8 supercars use E85 or whatever. Yes, they do, but they rebuild the engines after every race as well. Okay. And their fuel systems are very different to the regular car on the road. I just wouldn't be running E10 on any regular car. I'd be putting 91 in as a minimum.
Trent, we've got a few callers, but we'll just take a quick break if you're okay to hold. Trent Nikolic, Managing Editor, drive.com.au.
At FIVEAA, we're passionate about promoting our local food industry. So join us for the FIVEAA Festival of Food. Our own resident foodie, David Pemberthy, will take us on a mouth-watering journey through some of our finest local dining spots, while interviewing some of our state's great and unique food producers, including the Family Cook Meal Delivery Service, specialising in traditional family favourites with a modern twist. Keep listening for our FIVEAA Festival of Food. Thanks to $13.95 Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Moving is a headache, especially when you are Adelaide's best destination for RV parts and accessories. That's why when all RV parts and accessories moves their store, they don't want to take anything with them at all. But the great news is, if you're a caravanner or an outdoor enthusiast, they've got a sale. So hurry in to take advantage of their moving clearance sale. It's a massive 50% off, everything in store and on display, no exceptions, 50%, and we can all do with that 50% right now, can't we? And when they say everything, they mean it. Talking office gear, workshop plants, oh, that's very good, equipment, even shelving, half price. It's all got to go at all RV parts and accessories moving clearance sale this Thursday to Saturday at all RV parts and accessories, 108 Dawes Road at Melrose Park. That's Dawes Road, Melrose Park. For more information, rv.com.au.
Want a deal on a new VW? At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, it's easy and you don't have to wait. Their 2023 plate clearance is on now. That means you can pick your dream Volkswagen. Easy. Check out the range of new and demo Volkswagens on sale now. All stock is ready for immediate delivery with easy finance options available. And remember next day servicing. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's 2023 plate clearance. You'd better be quick. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Rising cost of living pressures are hitting everyone. Some people more than others. If you're struggling with your home loan or credit card payments, there may be ways your bank can help. Like lowering your home loan or credit card payments, restructuring the length of your loan to reduce them, moving you to interest-only payments for a while, or deferring them for a period. Don't tough it out on your own. Please, talk to your bank.
For over 100 years, Alfred James Funeral Homes has been here for families in their time of need. Alfred James Funeral Homes is built on a legacy of compassion, honour and service. We are always here, yesterday, today and tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, Alfred James has something new coming, a way to honour a life in the most extraordinary way, one that is truly out of this world. Alfred James Funeral Homes, honouring a life.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And Business SA and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between Business SA and Ray White Business Sales SA, they're bringing all their experience to your business, making sure it's in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. So go on, touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with Business SA.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Here's who you can support around Adelaide. Money can't buy happiness, but Black Friday in the city might. Don't miss out. Shop the best brands and biggest range this Black Friday weekend in the city. To get more help at home or with your home care package, let ECH work out what you need and how to go about getting it. Ask ECH today. 5AA, supporting local business.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family owned and operated, because it's personal.
The 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows wherever you go.
5AA Afternoons with Angie McBride.
Now, we still have time. Denise and Geeta from ECH will be here for another 6 minutes or so. So I think they've got a couple of lines free. 8223 0055. That's to ask about mainly home care packages, but also the services they offer, and they have gyms and all sorts. So it's one of those things. It hurts your brain to figure it all out. But Denise and Geeta are there and they'll help you out. 8223 0055. But we've got Trent Nikolic, Managing Editor, drive.com.au on the line. First, Trent, we have got Raymond. Hello, Raymond. Thanks for waiting.
Good, no sweat. Good afternoon to you both. Good afternoon, Trent. Sorry, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you going?
I'm very well, thank you. Trent, I've got a question for you about the 2025 Prado.
Yep.
So, as you're probably aware, it'll be optioned with a hybrid engine, and I believe, well, hybrid as in power, electric, and petrol. But is it true that the hybrid option won't be available in Australia?
At the moment, mate, the information that we have, and I assume this is what you've read as well, is that it's not going to be the first available option. So it's likely that it will come, but I think they'll do what they've done with 300 Series Land Cruiser, where they haven't spoken about a hybrid being available straight away, but it almost inevitably will be down the track. Probably as well coming soon with Hilux also. But yeah, Prado, you won't have the hybrid option straight away, but I dare say it will come not long thereafter.
So is it a petrol engine or a diesel engine in the hybrid?
It'll be a petrol engine in the hybrid, mate. Typically, Toyota does a petrol engine with a hybrid drivetrain, and I saw it recently, actually, with a couple of their bigger trucks in America. That's what they're doing over there as well, so it'll be a petrol hybrid.
And presumably, like a 2.4, like out of a Camry or something like that, would it be? Similar to the Camry?
I reckon it could be a little bigger than that, mate. They've got access to bigger petrol engines in America, and I think they might have a look at that. Could be like that out of a Camry, the point you make, if they decide to go that way. I guess given, we've had in the past, well, at the moment, you've got a 2.8 litre diesel, so a 2.5 litre hybrid petrol wouldn't be too bad. But I think a lot of it will have to do with durability and towing and things like that once they work that out, because that's obviously incredibly important for Prado buyers and for that segment.
Thank you.
Okay, so can I just ask you one last question about that? So I'm in a situation where I am sort of weighing up the purchase of an SUV, and hybrid is very appealing to me. I don't drive, I have a company car, so I don't drive, my personal vehicle every day. However, I do long trips. Like I have a house that's 6 hours away. So is a hybrid a value, a reasonable option for that? Because I'm hearing that unless it's a plug-in, regenerative, anyway, you know the word I'm trying to use, is perhaps not the option because you're not stop-start all the time for long drives.
Okay, so basically, I would argue that the great thing about Toyota hybrids is they immediately cut your fuel use in half. So you're going to use 50 to 60% maximum of the fuel that you would use to use the same vehicle doing the same driving. So it makes a really big difference. Where a plug-in hybrid makes a lot of sense is if you live near Adelaide City and you work in Adelaide City and your daily commute is, say, 30 or 40 Ks total, you could charge it at home on a regular power point, drive to work and back every day, never use any petrol, and then on the weekend you've got a petrol engine for when you want to go longer distances. But for you, with a 6-hour drive, you'll just point your regular hybrid down the freeway and instead of using 11 litres per 100, you'll use 5 to 6 straight away. So it'll make a big difference.
Thank you, Raymond. Hope that helps. Let's go to Rick. Hi, Rick.
Oh, hi. Hey, Trent, I've actually got a Cherry Motor 5.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I notice it's not ANCAP rated. How long do they normally take before they get that sorted out?
There's two answers to that. How desperately the manufacturer wants to push ANCAP to do it, and how desperately ANCAP wants to do it. Because basically, ANCAP is quite a small testing body in terms of the volume of people who work there and the resources. So they have quite a bit of catch-up to do. I think it's probably likely to be a good few months, I reckon, before you would see a rating for that. At best, it might take a little bit longer as well. But what I have seen in the past is where a vehicle is released in a segment where there's a lot of public demand and there's a lot of interest in it, ANCAP sometimes prioritises it.
I also noticed it's got no tow rating either.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm having a look at one tomorrow. I haven't had a good look at one yet, but I will be looking at one coincidentally tomorrow. I might talk to Cherry and find out about that and see if I can give you an update on it next week. So I'll ask them a question about that as to why there wouldn't be or what the reasoning is.
Lovely. All right, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
No worries, mate.
Thank you very much,
cheers,
Rick.
bye.
Now, can I ask a silly question, Trent? What is a cherry?
No silly questions, Anne.
What's a cherry? Car?
It's a new. Well, we have had them here before, but basically it's a relaunch of a Chinese manufacturer. So it's part of this huge influx of Chinese vehicles we're seeing. So you've got BYD and you've got Chery has started to come in. MG is Chinese as well, and LDV. There's a whole bunch of them. Great Wall Motors, GWM. So Chery is one of the new influx of that, and the Omoda 5 that previous caller has is a fantastic little hatchback, great little car.
Okay, lovely. The time has just gone too quickly, Trent. We'll do it again next week.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Trent Nikolic, Managing Editor. And any information, there's some great stories on drive.com.au. Make sure you log on. We'll go to the headlines with Melanie Usher. We'll take your calls. Want to know what you would put into the National Film and Sound Archive. And also, I don't know if you've been watching Dessert Masters, but we're going to talk chocolate.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Detectives from the Serious and Organised Crime Branch, assisted by local police, water operations, Australian Border Force and the AFP, are investigating a multi-million-dollar cocaine bust at Port Pirie. The state road toll for the year is now 98. A 74-year-old man from Lewiston has died in a single-car crash in the Barossa. The federal government has rejected calls to amend the Freedom of Information Act to allow some cabinet documents to be made public. And in sport, to cricket, wild weather could cost Australia a place in Sunday's World Cup final. The 5AA forecast: a mostly sunny afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, 23. Right now it's 19. We'll have more news at 4 and as it happens on 5AA.
Hi, it's Will here. Just going to step you through the really simple process to listen to the 5AA Player app. If you've got your phone in your hand like I do, it's as simple as unlocking it, clicking on the app, and then pushing play. And there it is. You simply push play and you're away, listening to any of your favourite 5AA shows at any time from anywhere in the world.
The 5AA Player.
Introducing the 2023 World Performance Car of the Year, the Kia EV6 GT. 430 kilowatts of power and 740 Newton meters of torque. With its unique Australian-tuned GT suspension and steering, the Kia EV6 exceeds all expectations. The Kia EV6 GT, the most powerful Kia ever built.
Kia, movement that inspires.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to not deal with organising all the trades? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? 2, the largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers. Plus, we can manage the installation and all sub-trades at a fixed price. Balhana Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhanakitchens.com.au.
A lot of shopping centres are the same. Same predictable shops, same people. But if you want something new, check out Newton Central with Drake's, Barossa Fine Foods, Seafood Works, Target and many more specialty shops. It's the kind of centre where you can get some retail therapy, do the weekly shop or gather all the fine ingredients you need for an impressive family feast. Want something new in your life? Choose a new local. Choose Newton Central, Gorge Road, Newton.
It's all the little things that make a Murray Princess cruise unforgettable. It's watching the world go by. It's good old-fashioned hospitality. It's newfound friends. And it's dancing into the night. For a big adventure, full of the little things, book your 3, 4 or 7-night cruise on the majestic Murray Princess today at murrayprincess.com.au.
I'm Kathy Nagel, the Chief Executive of Western Hospital, Henley Beach. Orthopaedic surgery is enhanced at Western Hospital by a well-established short-stay program focusing on returning you home following your joint replacement. A joint school is provided prior to surgery, led by experienced orthopaedic nurses and physiotherapists who support you during your journey toward a safe and often early return home. For more information about orthopaedic short-stay surgery, visit westernhospital.com.au or call 8159 1200.
Oi, Frank, you reckon this one's legit?
Nah, I reckon Ellie's just making toast again.
Yeah, probably.
Uh-oh, I reckon we're toast.
Communication is key when it comes to fire safety. And it's a whole lot easier to communicate with Safe Fire Electrical, headquartered right here in SA. Get in touch with your local fire safety experts, Safe Fire Electrical. Visit safefire.com.au.
The 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows wherever you go.
5AA Afternoons with Angie McBride.
It is 25 minutes to 4, 8223 0000. We'll check in with, what have we got today? Timmy G, maybe, on what is happening on the sports show after 4 o'clock. But I would love to talk to you at the moment. Now, we talked earlier, there's been 11 more sounds added into the National Film and Sound Archive of Australia, including this jingle.
Flip, flop, slap. This summer, if you're going to flip a shrimp onto the barbie, or slap on a chop, or just do anything under the sun, don't forget to flip on a shirt, slap on a hat, and flop on a sunscreen. A number 15 for maximum protection. Then you won't end up sizzling like a sausage. Silly. So, slip, slop, slap.
Yes, that of course was the slip, slop, slap jingle, and this one made it as well. I thought this would have been in sooner.
How's that? You messed about, I caught you out. How's that? Now that I've found where you're at, it's goodbye. Well, how's that? It's goodbye. You only came for a smile.
So what would you add in there? 8223 0000. Hello, David. How are you?
I'm fine now. I know I'd go for something archetype of your station back in the day when I used to drive heavy vehicles around. You'd be heading back towards Adelaide and you'd be able to get into with range of good old 5AA. And you'd have Bob Francis absolutely going off his nut. And to me, that is the sound of your station. If he hadn't been there late at night doing that, I wouldn't have become a regular listener. So
Well-
he's the sound of South Australia for me.
Josh has just looked up, and he is in the National Film and Sound Archive. He's on the list.
There you go,
So apparently
sir.
he's already in there. So there you go. Thank you, David.
Okay, bye.
Take care. And I'm glad you stuck with us for so long. I'm not as abusey and yelly as Bob is, but I'm glad you stuck with us. Thank you. Hello, Mark.
Howdy. How about Skippy's whistle?
Oh,
The kangaroo.
I would be very surprised. Josh is just madly having a look now. I'd be very surprised if that one isn't in there, because Skippy is classic. He's been around for a very, very long time. So just keep talking to me. Josh is just trying to find out. But you can listen to all those. It's the Sounds of Australia Registry, nfsa.gov.au, and they're constantly updating. So were you a Skippy fan? Did you watch Skippy? Oh, Mark's disappeared. Oh, he's disappeared. We'll tell you after if he is on the list. Oh, he is definitely on the list. Of course, Skippy's on the list. And this song, which I hadn't heard, it's a beautiful song. This was number 4. It's called I Only Came to Say Goodbye by Wilma Redding from 1961.
I only came to say goodbye because I've got to make you stay. You surely know the reason why. I beg you not to go away.
Yeah, keep them coming. 8223 0000. Chocolate all day. Sounds amazing. Not sure if my hips would agree, but my next guest is a world-renowned pastry chef, judge, MasterChef regular, has just released her new book, Chocolate All Day, from the chocolate queen herself, Kirsten Tibbles. Hello, how are you? Congratulations on your new book.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Tell us, what is the idea behind Chocolate All Day?
The concept behind the book is to create chocolate recipes that have that wow factor with very little output from the person making it. Easy to find ingredients, taste delicious. So really wanted to create simple recipes that pack a full punch.
Well, that was going to be my next question, that your desserts and creations look amazing. But what is a good place to start with a fairly easy recipe? I was looking at one of them. I think it was fudgy, a ganache on a stick or something. That looked okay.
Yeah, there's lots. There's espresso chocolate truffles with honey and vanilla. There's chocolate chip cookie sandwiches with an orange ganache. And a really easy one, which is great, which is oozy chocolate sourdough toasty. So best French toast you'll ever make with condensed milk and white chocolate. Just simply sliced bananas and some chocolate chips in the centre while it's still hot. So, yeah, there is some really simple but delectable recipes.
Because I was going to it's the chocolate ganache lollipops. I was going to give them a try. What is the key to a moist, like a beautiful, moist, buttery ganache?
Whisk the ganache really well. So the ganache should be reflective and be quite shiny before you finish whisking, because sometimes we're combining in that recipe cream and chocolate. So when you whisk it initially, it may look a little bit separated, but keep going and keep whisking until it's really smooth and shiny, and then you'll have that melt in your mouth, delicious ganache texture.
Kirsten, do you make your own chocolate, or do you use a certain type of chocolate?
I use a Belgium chocolate, which I'm an ambassador for a Belgium chocolate company called Calabar. So I use their chocolate, which is available in Australia if you probably buy online, to be honest. A lot of the chocolates that you could buy at a supermarket are really low in fat to meet a price point. So they're hard to melt and they're quite thick and difficult to work with.
So is that dark that you generally use?
I use a range of all the chocolates, actually. I think they all have a place. We probably tend to use dark when we're mixing with other ingredients a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, absolutely, milk and white chocolate have a spot there as well.
What was the name of that chocolate again? I just want to repeat it so our listeners know what to go out and find.
It's Calabar chocolate.
Calabar, okay. I might look that up to see where we can get it from. I'm sure you can get it in Adelaide somewhere.
We sell it at Saver, but I believe Bottega Rotolo used to sell it.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So what was your website for that, so if people want to buy it?
SAVOUR school, SCHOOL.com.au.
Saver School, lovely. And there's certain skills because I'm looking at your book and it just looks very beautiful. What skills do you think you have to possess when working with chocolate and desserts? My first thought would be patience.
I was going to say patience. Patience is always a good one. Some good things come to those who wait. So some of the process may need you to, for example, sit the ganache for a few hours so that it can firm up a little bit, or, a mousse needs to set in the fridge. So, yes, patience, absolutely.
So every year I'm on rumble duty. My auntie has given me her old recipe that has passed through the family, and it's absolutely delicious. And I've got my food processor. I'm all good. I'm okay with rolling them in, which look like decent balls. What do you use because when I dip them in chocolate, because then I just pop them on a plate, and the bottom of them is flat, so the chocolate just comes out flat. What do you use to make that chocolate all around the bowl just looking all beautiful and nicely shaped?
I drop them straight into like some cocoa powder, icing sugar, some toasted nuts, toasted coconut, and then I sort of shuffle that tray until the truffle is coated, which rounds them back up nicely.
Ah, okay, because I do pop them in the coconut, but then, so in between the chocolate, because you don't let the chocolate set, do you? So you do it pretty much straight away, but I think maybe I'm not moving quick enough.
Yeah, well, the chocolate's still liquid after you've dipped it, but maybe try dipping it with a toothpick. That might help, so you keep the shape. And then pop it into, another way of doing it would be to pop it in the coconut and then spoon the coconut over and then twist the toothpick out. That way you're not dropping it so much as just gently placing it in the coconut, because it sounds like it might be a softer filling.
Yes.
So by putting the toothpick in it and just sitting it on top, and then get a spoon and, sort of shovel it on top until it's all coated and leave it in there until that's set, that will avoid the base as well, being a bit flat.
I'll give it a try for this Christmas. Chatting to Kirsten Tibbles, the Chocolate Queen. Beautiful new book, Chocolate All Day. So your ideas, they're quite intricate and quite beautiful. Is there a time of the day when you come up with your ideas? Like, do you wake up from a sweat and you have to write it down in your sleep?
I commonly write things on the aeroplane.
Yes.
It's a time when no one can contact you, and it's actually a great space because you're stuck in your seat and you can't get distracted. So that's probably where I do the most recipe writing, actually, is on a flight.
Your chocolate career started pretty early. You started taking cake orders when you were 13. How did you know so young that was your path?
I really like the artistry of it. I was very interested in art, in, all aspects of art. So it was a great transition for me to decorate cakes, and, it was a next step of art that I really loved. And the fact that then that artwork was eaten and people could enjoy it and appreciate it really was a cherry on top.
Usually, Kirsten, on the other side of the fence, so usually you're setting these intricate challenges for people on MasterChef with the contestants, and they have to recreate one of your beautiful desserts. The tables have been turned on you, though, hearing on Channel 10's Dessert Masters. How was that with the pressure flipping?
Well, I have for many, many years set challenges and not even thought about, how traumatising that may be for the contestants. So it certainly gave me a different perspective to be on the other side of the bench. But for me, being a professional, I guess there was a lot on the line as to what are people going to think? What if I don't succeed in the competition? How am I going to come across on TV? And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to stop worrying about what people think. Life is an amazing journey, and I can sit in my chair and watch other people on TV, or I can have a go myself and try to improve myself. And that might then encourage other people to do the same thing. So they might then decide to jump in, and something they've been considering doing but a little bit nervous, it might give them the encouragement they need to take that next step.
You've got the skill, you've got the patience to do all this.
I have, but I think that if you break it down and step by step, if you plan ahead what you're going to make, and that's for complex desserts. In my book, there's so many things that you could make within an hour and be sitting down and eating it. But I think for the more complex desserts, don't try and make it all in one day. So I think it's good to sort of do a bit this day, we freeze that, and then I can wait a week before I do any more.
There's some gorgeous photos in here and a great time. It's Christmas. People might be looking for something a little bit different to take to their Christmas table. I am a little bit obsessed at the moment with cinnamon scrolls. So your chocolate, cinnamon and caramel scrolls, I'm going to try and give them a go.
They're a good one. That is a good one. They're absolutely decadent. And that sort of scroll where you pull it apart and it's so soft and tender inside with a beautiful flavour. Of course, we've incorporated chocolate. Of course. It wouldn't be my recipe if I didn't. But they're a great recipe. That's one, if you start early enough, you can make that the same day and eat it the same day as well.
Chocolate All Day by Kirsten Tibbles. It's online, in-store. You can also see Kirsten appearing on Dessert Masters on Channel 10 and 10 Play. Make sure you go out and get the book. Thank you so much, Kirsten. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much for chatting with me.
Have you been watching Dessert Masters? I don't think I've got the skill and the patience, but wow, some of those desserts are pretty amazing. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen last night's show, but Anna Polyview, who we spoke to on Friday, she did a hot dog. It looked exactly like a hot dog with chips, but it was a dessert, and it looked pretty good, I must say. Also, over the next few weeks, our very own David Pemberthy is getting out and about, meeting some of South Australia's great food producers and suppliers as part of FIVEAA's Festival of Food.
Well, I'm here with Victoria from the Family Cook in Hectorville, and I think you've achieved a bit of a miracle in honouring the promise of making ready-made meals that taste like they were made at home. It is a type of food that is much maligned because you hear ready-made or microwave and you immediately think, well, you know what you're getting yourself into. Just homing in on the way those vegetables were cooked, like they're not mushy, they're not stodgy, like it tastes like it's come straight out of your own baking dish at home.
A lot of love does go into each step, so we hand mash all of our mash, and there's real butter and cream in there, everything that you would expect in just a really good, proper home-cooked meal. So stews, you will find red wine in there,
yeah,
and it's
the
cooked all
gravies.
day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like
so,
it's not out of a tin, there's nothing powdered or anything, like it's all done from the start.
Stocks are made from scratch.
Yeah, absolutely, but you can tell with the taste. And the range is really good, so you've got like beef ragu, the corned beef, green chicken curry, the traditional roast chicken with gravy and veg, and your salmon with the dill.
They're all wonderful for different reasons, and depending on your mood, what you need. So a nurturing chicken and vegetable soup's always good if you're feeling a bit well and flat, and then you've got your nurturing old-fashioned dishes or your curries if you feel like a modern twist.
This all started 6 years ago, and originally this was through your network of school parents making food for them, and now here you are, and it's hugely important for older people on NDIS plans, but also just for busy people or people like me who want a night off from the spatula.
Can't thank you enough for just sharing our beautiful food and sharing it with Adelaide.
Family Cook, lovely to meet you properly, Victoria, and all the very best of luck. Thank you.
Dave.
Cheers.
5AA is inviting you into the studio every afternoon. Head to the 5AA live stream. Thanks to Foodland. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Hearing Australia's new range has devices that are so discreet, people might not notice you're wearing one. They auto-adjust to reduce background noise, and there are also rechargeable options. For over 75 years, Hearing Australia has provided expert hearing care for all Australians, finding the right device to suit any budget and lifestyle. Search hearing.com.au to book your appointment today.
Hearing Australia.
Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
Experience the Silver Sea difference with Silver Sea and Phil Hoffman Travel. Immerse yourself in all-inclusive, ultra-luxurious ocean travel with small ship intimacy, spacious all-suite accommodation and personalised butler service. Discover the wonders of Australia and New Zealand from Brisbane to Sydney or Auckland to Sydney and enjoy suite upgrades plus up to $1,000 shipboard credit per suite. Offer ends 30th of November. Contact Phil Hoffman Travel or visit pht.com.au.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family owned and operated, because it's personal.
Hi, Jerry Harvey. Optus. Kick them when they're down. Really? I thought Australians were better than that. It could happen to any company. Could be your turn next time. For what it's worth, Harvey Norman will support Optus. Yes, we will support Optus. If you think Optus is getting a raw deal, then you think like us. Need a new phone? It's an Optus deal at Harvey Norman. Tell them Jerry sent you.
When you want a retractable door screen, you want uninterrupted views and natural ventilation combined with protection from insects. You want Phantom Screens. Our custom-made retractable door screens can be colour-matched to your existing decor and span up to 7 metres wide. And they disappear out of sight when not in use. A screen that's there 1 minute, gone the next. From the hills to the coast and everywhere in between, let the fresh air in with Phantom Screens. Get inspired online at phantomscreens.com.au.
I like to call it a passion. I can be sitting relaxing. I'm spending this holiday locked in. Back then, wasn't worried about me though. In the gym, trying to work on my free throw. Oof. What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in.
The new Kia Seltos. That's what's poppin'. And yeah, it's got options. The new Kia Seltos. The word is out.
Brand new whip, just hopped in.
Kia. Movement that inspires. The 5AA Player app lets you listen to all your favourite 5AA shows wherever you go.
5AA Afternoons with Angie McBride.
I was going to sing them, but I fought against it.
Angie McBride, you were swinging your arms and
I was.
wiggling
Sugar
in the
pie,
tree.
honey bunch. Now,
are you allowed to sing? Because you're a good singer. See,
well,
Timmy's
am
not.
I allowed to?
Well, I don't know. You got to have a good voice.
Oh,
give us a bit. Go on, give us some
No,
sugar pie.
I
Put it
don't
back
do-
on. Give us some sugar pie, honey bun.
I don't do it
Come
under
on.
pressure, Stephen. Right.
Right.
But you know what? You're here after 5 o'clock, so you want people to call you, but also, 4 o'clock. God, I've just gone non-daylight savings time, haven't I? But people can tune into the 5AA Facebook and YouTube live stream thanks to Foodland Supermarkets, and they can see the beautiful picture you
Yes,
are,
they
Stephen
can.
Rowe.
I wear the same shirt every day.
No,
It's
you
a
don't.
blue complete
Very
windscreen
nice.
shirt.
I
We've
like
got
it.
Daniel Garb on because our Socceroos are playing Thursday night. Then they're off to Kuwait and they're playing Palestine. That will get political. Imagine that.
Okay.
Anyway, Mel Brown's on, my former South Fremantle coach. He was a colourful character. He was a scallywag, a Sandover medalist, terrific player, magnificent coach, a thinker in residence. So that will be fun. Because we're going to have our finger on the dump button. Do not miss the great Mal Brown. Gareth Morgan got a 6 for, but we've got a topic today, and lines will be available from 4 o'clock. The National Film and Sound Archive, they add a piece of audio into their registry.
They did.
Each and every year. And there's things like slip on a, slop on a, and slap on a. You can sing that. Slip, slop, slap. You know that one?
Yes.
Or How's That by Sherbet. You would get going. How's that? Good. Well done. You messed about. So they've been added into the register. Okay. So lines are available. What are our nominations?
Sporting ones.
Nominations. So it might be a call. It might be a Richie Benno call of that magic ball. It might be Timmy Ginniver, get the numbers back. It could be, it could
Bruce
be anything.
McAvaney, Kathy Freeman.
Yeah,
That's
could
surely
be.
in there, aren't they? You would
Dunno.
think.
But we're going to open
that's
up the
good. I
lines.
like
We've got
it.
a $50 Powers voucher. We want to get
Excellent.
one of our audio pieces. It might be Blakey. Remember Blakey did that skit on Cornsey meeting Mick Jagger?
But you know, you can nominate. You get onto the
do you?
website and you
Oh,
can
can you?
nominate those things.
Oh, well, I'm nominating
Yes.
this one. Blakey's skit on Cornsey
Get-
meeting
no, you
Mick
don't
Jagger,
tell me you've
where
got it,
Mick
you know.
Jagger said, "Why is that bloke? Is he a Burns victim?" Remember, because he's got a lot of wrinkles. You have to hear it.
Oh.
What happened to your face?
Stop it. No, get online. You can nominate
Anyway,
and...
Angie.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Does anyone else call you Angie McBride like me?
Yeah.
Chump is so... They do?
Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
No, but I don't mind.
Good.
That's
well, it's
fine.
a term of infection.
It is. Infection.
Affection.
Infection or
I'm off
affection.
set 4.
All right. So thank you very much, Rowie. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your calls. Thanks, Josh. Don't miss out. All that fun with Stephen Rowe, Timmy G and Sam Tugwell. We'll do it all again tomorrow.
Hi, Matthew Pantelis here. Now, how do you use the app to listen to us? Well, get your smartphone or your device, unlock it, tap the 5AA Player app. There'll be a big play button that comes up right in the middle of your screen. Push that. And there it is. You can enjoy 5AA live in crystal clear sound wherever you are, whatever you're doing.
The 5AA Player.
It's been gone for decades. It's a thing of the past. But even today, it haunts some of us. If you suffered from polio as a child or it affected your parents, Polio SA Support Group would like to hear from you. Symptoms like weakness, joint pain and fatigue may still persist and can be managed. Polio SA is committed to making life for polio survivors as comfortable as possible. Find out more at poliosa.org.au.
Need your driveway, walkway, outdoor or entertaining area paved or repaved? You're in luck. Playford Pavers' massive sale is your unmissable opportunity. Score up to 30% off their stunning range, boasting a wide variety of colours and sizes. That's up to 30% off. But hurry, this offer is for a limited time and only while stocks last. Once they're gone, they're gone. Up to 30% off. Visit playfordpavers.com.au.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. Over 30 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Peter from Go Vita, Tanunda. This month we have a great offer on Natural Road's psyllium husk. Gentle fibre to keep you regular. Save 70% off a recommended retail price with 200 grams for only $9.95.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Manopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A mostly sunny afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, 23. With the 4 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
From chips to replacements, make Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. CompleteWindscreens.com.au.
There's been a massive cocaine haul at Port Pirie. 23 kilos of the drug has been seized from a ship in dock. Crew from the ship reported suspicious packages on board, leading to a search by detectives and Border Force officers. The cocaine is worth in excess of $8 million. A 74-year-old man from Lewiston is the latest fatality on our roads. He died in a single-car crash near Nuriutpa this morning. The state road toll for the year now stands at 98. Robbie Williams touched down in Australia today ahead of his national tour, which will see him play the Adelaide 500 on November 26. It's been announced the F-35s, the ADF's fifth-generation supersonic stealth fighters, will perform flyovers on both the Saturday and Sunday of the 500, and public transport will again be free for ticket holders across the 4 days. Premier Peter Malinauskas says it's going to be bigger and better than 2022.
So we're 6% up on the same time last year, which is a really good result because the ticket sales were strong last year. We do want to see them to continue to grow over the course of the next week. There's always a mad rush in the last week, but to be ahead on ticket sales at the same time last year means we're performing pretty strongly.
A Woolworths in the Hills gutted by fire last month will be torn down. The local council has confirmed demolition of the Sterling Village Mall. Trees next to the building will also be removed after being significantly fire affected. Well, after 38 years of service with the South Australian Metropolitan Fire Service, Chief Officer Michael Morgan has announced he'll step down at the end of 2023. He joined the MFS as a firefighter in 1986, ascending through the ranks until his formal appointment in the top job in June 2019. His final day will be Friday, December 29. His current deputy will step into the role until it's permanently filled. All roads will lead south for the class of 2023 this weekend. The annual Schoolies Festival will be held at Victor Harbour, and this year the event is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Nigel Knowles from Encounter Youth, who oversee the festivities, says a lot of hard work. Pity Liberal leader Susan Lee says some of the 81 people that have been let out have committed violent crimes.
This includes a pedophile who raped a 10-year-old